Okay, hello and welcome to this trumpet channel. I'm very excited to get this started today. I wanted to go over a couple things that makes my channel different from other channels. There's a lot of helpful information out there when it comes to trumpet playing, and I will probably reference a lot of that information in my own personal videos because it's helped me in my development. The one thing that I wish that I could have had when I was looking for information to improve myself as a trumpet player, and that I continually look for when I want to improve myself as a trumpet player, is just a consistent place that you can go that has answers to questions that you have. And that's what I want to be for anybody that watches this, for myself included. Mainly this is going to be for me, for some of my siblings that play, some of my friends that play. I was growing up and learning how to play and getting through some of the hurdles that I first experienced. I had to like dance around to a whole bunch of different YouTube channels and different YouTubers in general just to find consistent answers to specific questions, which was really frustrating. And so I want this to be a channel and a place that you can come to that's very direct and is also very simple. So I wanted to start my my channel kickoff with a topic that I feel like is a little bit under addressed, and that topic is overblowing or playing too loud. I don't know if I said this before, but I live in a van with my wife, which brings a whole myriad of concerns and a whole bunch of different things that are somewhat detrimental when it comes to brass playing and trumpet playing. One of those things, which is going to be our first topic today, is overblowing. And Trent Austin from Austin Custom Brass does an amazing video on this, explaining the side effects of overblowing and how that can lead to a lot of common problems and frustrating problems that I feel like we as trumpet players experience a lot. And I know for me, I experienced a lot. So I was working with a teacher who was very much pushing projection and being loud and making sure we can like be heard over the band, and we're projecting forward and not projecting out. And those are all great things. The one thing that I feel like I was missing with his direction, with his instruction, was the importance of, if you can project, you also have to be able to learn how to bring it back, and you have to be able to play quietly. And the reason for that, we'll get into in just a minute. I'm gonna stitch in two different videos. First clip is what happens if you are playing too loud, and what happens if you're not taking a break. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, overblowing and the benefits and the effects of taking a break. So the first clip, here it is, of me just struggling through this scale. Okay, so obviously it kind of cuts out there at the top, gets a little bit pinched, it gets a little bit small. It's not as like powerful as I would initially want it to be. The second clip I'm gonna post is what happens. I didn't play from that point on. It was like a couple days. I went on a cruise for about a week, and then I didn't take my horn at all. It was the first time that I haven't played my horn for over a week in like a year and a half. I've been playing my horn every day for about a year and a half, but I took a week off, and this is the difference. So this was a couple hours I came back and kind of got warmed up and kind of felt the horn again. But this second clip is me taking a break for a week, and these are the results of that. So first thing when it comes to overblowing is we want to make sure that you're resting enough. If you're not resting enough, you're going to have a lot of head pressure, your face is going to hurt a lot, you're going to be developing a lot of bad habits because you're so used to playing so big and so open. When we're overblowing, we're putting too much air that the trumpet requires. I had a great trumpet teacher. He explained to me, his name is Jason Johnson. He said, we need to stop taking breathing advice from low brass players. We don't need to use that much air when it comes to the trumpet. So I've been practicing lately of putting about half the volume of air into the horn, and it's given me a way better sound. I feel like a lot of the times, and even in those two videos, I've had a lot of head pressure and a lot of back pressure. It feels like I'm blowing against a wall. It feels like it's just coming right back in my face. The horn's not taking any of it. It's just because I'm simply trying to put too much air through this small hole on the horn. There's no way you can put in like gallons and gallons of air through that little sized hole. So just back off a little bit. So something that I have to work with a lot is playing with a mute, because I live in a van, and so I don't want to disturb people. I don't want to disturb my wife. So I play with either a practice mute or the silent brass. The thing that I've had to learn though is that you have to back off. You've got to make sure that you're playing quiet and that you're playing softer than you think is necessary. So step one Don't forget the importance of resting. Like I said, I waited a week between those clips to touch my horn, and that was up to a C sharp, and I feel like it was pretty loud. It's not perfect, but it was a pretty good, solid, full C sharp. But you've got to make sure that you're resting. I was playing at this point 6 to 8 hours a day, and it's just not healthy. I think we as individuals and we as people, especially in this day and age, we're so worried about like, well, I've got to make sure that I'm working all the time. This is my request to you. Make sure you're resting more than you're working. And I think that's hard, especially for me. My wife will tell you, my family will tell you, I am one to like just work until there's either nothing left or the task is accomplished. So sometimes the hardest thing to do is to take a break in the middle of what you're doing and just relax, like just do something else. But that will save you so much trouble in the long run. Number 2, play softer. So we have obviously number 1, take a break, relax. If you're getting frustrated and you're watching this video because you're pissed off about stuff not coming out, stuff not slotting properly, take a break and play softer. We are probably playing too loud. Just play a little bit quieter. There's no need to play as loud as we think we are. So understand how to make it big and broad and powerful, but also understand how to pull it back and make it nice and quiet. So those are my first 2 tips. Step 3 is to not play so quiet that you're pinching the sound. Take my mute out for this, but if I was to play you see how it kind of like, as I'm trying to be consistent with the airflow, it sounds like I'm cutting, almost like you have this sound wave and then it just goes dot, dot, because you're just cutting out. We don't want to play that soft. We want to eventually, Brian Davis calls it, get to your most comfortable quiet. As we get to our most comfortable quiet, we'll see that we can bring it down even lower, and then we can get to our most comfortable loud, and then we'll find that sweet spot in between of where our like mezzo forte type sound is. It's going to give us the best resonance, the best sound, the best projection, all of that kind of stuff. So step 1, rest more than you think. Step 2 is to play quieter. Don't worry about playing too loud. And step 3 is don't play too quiet to where you're pinching it off. You'll feel it in your face if you're trying to pinch it off. So try not to pinch and play at your most comfortable quiet. If you're struggling with overblowing, I highly recommend doing these 3 things for like just a week. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take a lot. Even in your scales and stuff, if you're just doing your simple just play like 50% of the volume down and you'll feel an absolute difference. I struggle with a lot of head pressure when I was trying to project. And so as I was trying to play with all this power and all this fire and this gusto, I like felt like my head was gonna explode. We don't need to do that. Trumpet is a lot easier than I think sometimes we make it out to be. So don't play too soft to where you're pinching, and don't play too loud to where you have a head rush. If you're having either of those things, we need to readjust how much air and how loud we're playing. 95% of the problems that we have on trumpet are because we're playing too loud. So hopefully this helps, because it's significantly helped me. So don't make the same mistakes that I did. Play a little bit easier, play a little bit calmer, and I'll talk to you guys next week.